Alright, I'm back with another video on this burnt Ferrari 360 engine, converting it over to garage art. So this is going to be part 4. So today I'm going to be concentrating on the front of the engine, still waiting on my bits from my die grinder to finish up the work that I did in part 3 in here, but you can see that it looks way better than when I started. We just got to finish up this stuff right here and then try and get these pieces out here, and then hopefully we can get this intake off. I think that's probably going to be the hardest job, is getting that intake off. And then so yeah, so let's get started on the front. So what I'm going to do here is I'll start off with power steering pump. So I'm not going to need this piece right here, so I'll take this off. We'll just trash that. And then what I'm going to do is I'll pull this pulley off. There's 3 bolts right there. We'll see if I can get that off. And then what I'll do is the power steering pump is actually sitting in like a cradle. And then once I get this off, I can get to the fasteners underneath. And then we can remove that. So let me take this piece off. Let me pull this off, and I'll be back. All right, so I got the pulley off, and yeah, it didn't go as planned. So let me show you this right here real quick. And you see I took the fasteners out. The fasteners are M8. It's a 13 millimeter M8, 1.25 thread pitch. Normally I don't tell the thread pitch of the fasteners. I just tell you, kind of what kind of tool you need to remove it. But, I'm going to use this video to document all the fasteners and stuff. So it's good for me to reference back, because I'm probably going to end up replacing all these fasteners. I thought about zinc plating them all, and there's some other parts in here too, but I think for the price of the kit to do the zinc plating and all the supporting components I need to do that, it would be cheaper just to go and replace all the fasteners. So I'll probably end up doing that, and then some of these pieces, like these pulleys and stuff. If you notice, like the thumbnail of the videos of that Ferrari 360 engine, I think that one's sold at Sotheby's. But if you look at on there, a lot of the components are painted black on there, and it looks like they use some aftermarket fasteners. They put on a lot of the engine parts. So, I probably use that as more of a reference guide, that picture right there, the pictures of that engine that sold. And then maybe I don't have to do a lot of zinc plating, or I could send these off. There's some companies out there that do some of this, so it might be a lot cheaper to do it that way. But we'll see. That's the fun part of, having a project like this, is there's no pressure. I can do it, however I want to set it up. I'll try to get it as close to the way the original engine's set up, but, it doesn't have to be perfect, because there's some components they're not going to be working, and I don't ever plan on using them. Say, for example, like this power steering pump here, I don't ever plan on it being used again, so I can pretty it up and make it look really good for a display. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So, but anyway, let me show you this real quick. And it looks like there's a bearing on here. It's seized up, and then this shaft kind of pulled out of there. As you can see it here. All right. So anyway, that's that. And then I got that piece off where that hose mounts off. I got that under. Probably just trash that. So what I'm going to do now is, it's got this mount here. So I'll pull these 3 fasteners off here. And then let me pull this mount itself. There's a fastener right here, and there's a fastener right here. And this is more of like an adjustment. So you can adjust the tension on the belt for this pump assembly here. So let me remove these fasteners and get this assembly removed, and I'll be back. Okay, so I got the mount off, and here it is right here. And one thing I didn't realize is that adjustment bolt right here is actually threaded into here. Okay, so actually it was kind of stuck on there. I would spin the bolt this way, and it was kicking this out, and then it would jam up, and I couldn't even do anything with it. So I had to keep it kind of loose. And as I adjusted this bolt here to kick this out, I had to keep wiggling this, and then finally it came off. It's still pretty tough to get off, but I don't know if it's because of the fire. I think it's because it's just really, really tight on there, but I could be wrong. But anyway, that's off. And then, and this just slides off. I'll take that, put it over to the side here. And then, yeah, I'm trying to keep this floor, this black soot gets over, it just smears everywhere. So I'm trying to clean it as I go. But, okay, here's the power steering pump. So I went ahead and took these fasteners off. The bolts for this cradle right here is M8 1.25 thread pitch for those two fasteners here. The ones on the back of this power steering pump, M6, it's a 1.0 thread pitch. There's 4 of them there. I just loosened them up. I just want to see inside of it, and I'll show you what it looks like. So, not going to be pretty. Oh, one fell out. Let me get this real quick. Put this here. Okay. Actually, let me dump those out. Okay. I'll put it back in a minute. There's what it looks like there. Okay. And then this is what the inside look at this looks like. Let me see here. Actually, this will probably come out here. Yeah, there we go. And that's what that looks like. And I can take these pieces here. I'll just blast them and I can put it back together. Yeah, put some oil on it. We'll make it, put it back together. And then here's the housing. You dealt this out here. Okay. And that's what the inside looks like there. Pretty simple. Okay, that's that. Okay. So let's see, the next thing we're going to do here. Probably pull this water pump assembly off here. So, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 fasteners. It looks like just 4, and this whole thing will come off here. So I'll pull this off here, and then there's that thermostat housing there. Okay, there's your bleed screw, if you just in case if you ever wonder where it is to bleed out the cooling system. And then I've had to do that before. Actually, I had a hose pop off, and then I had to pull on the side of the road. So I had to actually the hose. I think it ruptured, if I'm not mistaken. It's been so long ago that it happened. And then I had to go to the auto parts store, get something that kind of came close to it, and I had to cut it and everything to fit. I got it fit, but then put coolant in it, and I had to bleed it out. But I had to remove that access panel behind the seats, and then to get to this right here, and I think it's just a 10 millimeter. I used a little wrench to get to it and bleed it out. But it took a couple times to get all the air out, and then it was good to go. So anyway, there's that in case you're wondering where it's at. And so I guess we'll remove these 4 fasteners here, and then we'll pull this assembly out, and I'll be back. Okay, got the water pump off. So those 4 fasteners, it was a 6 millimeter hex drive, and then the fastener was M8 1.25 thread pitch. So and this is what it looks like here with that removed. And actually, see that blob of metal? It's going to give me some good access to get a screwdriver in here and try to pry that up, and try to remove that big piece of aluminum that's melted all in there. But anyway, here is the water pump right here. There's your thermostat. Here, let me show you the back here. There's that hose. I need to take that off. And this is what it looks like. Okay. And then so I tell you what, let me go ahead and remove these fasteners so I can get this housing off, and I'll show you what it looks like in here. And then I'll take these fasteners off here and then pull this nose off, and let's see what it looks like inside. Alright, so we got the water pump taken apart, And then let's see here, these fasteners that go here, these nuts that go all the way around. It's M6 1.0 thread pitch. All right, so I got this loose, and then here's what it looks like. Wow, look at the heat. Boy, it got to this piece even though it's inside. Look at that. Okay. All right, that's that. And then let's look at the inside of this. Okay. And then I took the thermostat housing off. This thing is like welded in there. I'll have to try and pry that out. Okay. And then let's look on this side here. Okay. There's not much to this. Okay. And that is that. All right. Okay. So I'll put this back together and set it to the side. Let me see what we're going to do next. Probably, let's try and get, I think probably this bracket here. Let me go ahead and remove this, and I'll be back. Okay, so in order to take this bracket all the way off, you need to take the alternator off first because there's some fasteners that are back here that you have to get off. So in order to get this off, this alternator, they have to, these are 17 millimeter right here for this bolt here, 17 millimeter nut, and these are 1.25 thread pitch for this nut here, and then this is a M10 fastener, 1.25 thread pitch, and then this is a 8 millimeter hex drive to fit on the backside to keep it from spinning. So remove those and then just rock this out of this cradle here. And then I started taking these fasteners off the front here, but one of them I couldn't get to. I had to take, this is the adjustment that moves up and down, the tensioner, okay, for the alternator, for the belt. So I needed to take this off right here to get to that. And this is 12 millimeter, and then that's M10 1.25 thread pitch for that nut. And that's it. There's a big washer too that's on the back side right there. Okay. And then I was able to get this fasteners out here. So let me grab these. Let me see right here. See, there's several here. Right here. I got to take those out, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I got the bracket out now. Here it is. And here's the back side of it. Okay. So they're just 3 fasteners here. Those were like finger loose. They weren't even tight at all. I don't know what's up with that. That is a 6 millimeter hex drive. That's a M8 fastener, 1.25 thread pitch. And then these front ones are smaller. That's a 5. These ones right here. That's a 5 millimeter hex drive. And then that's a M6 1.0 thread pitch. Okay. So these right here were completely loose, weren't even tight at all. Yeah, so I don't know what's up with that. Okay, here's the block in case you want to see that, what it looks like right there. Okay. So now I guess what I'm going to do is I'll pull this timing belt tensioner off right here, and then there's that that bearing right here that belt rides on. So I'll take this bolt off here. Let's pull this tensioner off here, and then there's a bracket right back here that all this mounts to, and then I'll pull that off there, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I got the bracket already ready to come off, and then here's this assembly right here. It swings and gets pressure from this right here. This is what your tensioner, which pushes on here, puts tension on the timing belts. And then the 17 millimeter, this is the M10, and that's a 1.25 thread pitch. Okay, and then these are 13 millimeter fasteners. All right, and that's a M8, and that's those are 1.25 thread pitch. Okay, Then I had this fastener down here. This nut was a 13 millimeter, and then that was an M8, and that's a 1.25 thread pitch. And then you had this stud right here was a 10 millimeter M8 1.25 thread pitch, and this was another it's a 10 millimeter. The whole stud came out, and I'm sure it's M8 1.25 thread pitch too. Okay, so now this whole thing comes off here, and that's it. Okay. And then, if you notice right here, I see some water starting to weep out. Where's it at? Right there. It's coming out the hole a little bit. So we definitely have some water inside. Okay. How much? I don't know. Okay. And that's it for this side here. So now what I'm going to do, you can see it's looking pretty good now. All right. And I tried pulling this belt off, but man, it's stuck on there. I'm going to have to cut this and just try to pull this off. When I pull that pulley off, then I can clean it up a little bit. Now I'm going to do this bracket over here. Remove this whole assembly right here. This is where the AC compressor bolts onto right here. Okay, so let me get this off, and I'll be back. All right, so I got the bracket off right there, and I think it was a 6 millimeter. Let me look real quick. Yeah, it's a 6 millimeter hex drive to get those out. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 to take this bracket out. M8 1.25 for those. Okay, and that is it. Let me show you this in case you want to see this. There's the back side over there. Okay. All right. That's that. So now I am going to, let me sit back and we take a look at this real quick. So wow, yeah, we made a lot of progress on the front. It's looking really good. Yeah, so now I'm gonna go through and I gotta take all these parts, take all the bolts and nuts, and I'll bag all those. I'll tag them, write down where they go to, and all the parts. I'll take them and I'll get all these boxed up, and then put all these in storage until I get ready to clean them all up. And then, so yeah. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to show you. I forgot to say something about the water pump, just in case if you wanted to see it. The weep hole. You see it right there? There's your weep hole to tell if the bearing's bad. It'll start leaking out of that hole and start dripping out for your water pump. Okay, right there. So just in case if somebody wanted to know where that was at. And yeah, that's it. So so yeah, we'll call it a wrap for this video here. And then probably the next one I see is we need to get all this stuff cleaned up in here so I can get to these bolts to get this intake off. So that's my next goal here. Is I want to get this completely off here. If I can get that off, that would be fantastic. And then we got to worry about getting these block pieces of aluminum that are kind of like in where you get the head bolts off. I mean the nuts. Get those off. They're down in there. So we got to try to get that out, grind those out or whatever. So yeah, that's gonna be a tough one there. But I think we made some progress today. So I'll go ahead and let y'all go. And I got to get this mess cleaned up, and then I'll see you in the next video. All right, guys, be safe, and we'll see you the next time. Okay, have a good day. Bye.